One minute you're learning English in the classroom, you get compliments about your grammar, you feel confident, and then you walk into a coffee shop in the UK, you order a drink, and the person behind the counter says something like, "Good shout." And suddenly you're thinking, wait, what did they just say? Good shout? I'm not shouting. If that sounds pretty confusing, well, you're not alone, because here's the truth. When you learn any language, what you learn in the textbooks and what native speakers actually say in real life can sound like two completely different languages. Now, in part one of this series, I taught you 16 real British English phrases that you'll hear everywhere, at work, in shops, on the telly, or in everyday conversations. And today, in this lesson, in part two, we're going to learn 16 more everyday British expressions that'll help you sound natural and confident in English. And yes, these are expressions that I actually use every day. And if you want to learn even more about this lesson, there is a free PDF that you can download in the description below. Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to English Right Now. My name is Roy Woodhouse, and I am your British English teacher. And I've been a teacher of English for nearly 15 years. In fact, I think it's getting up to 16. People keep telling me it's 16. The reason for that is 16 is kind of my lucky number, which is why I'm going to teach you 16 more phrases. And during that time, by the way, I've helped thousands of students like you learning British English, pronunciation in a modern British RP accent, and of course, British culture, because a language is more than just words, it is culture. And today, we're going to look at 16 everyday British expressions that I actually use. And first up, we're going for that one that you may have heard in the coffee shop, right in the introduction. It is good shout. Good shout. Good shout. This is a brilliant phrase to kind of show agreement. It means good idea, or yeah, that's a smart call. So for example, if somebody says, you know what, let's just catch the bus instead of driving, somebody might say, yeah, good shout. Or, oh, I hear there's a film on later on, 7 o'clock. It's that new blockbuster. Oh, yeah, good shout. You will hear this everywhere, at work, between friends, or even in the pub. In fact, especially down the pub. Do you want a couple of drinks? Yeah, good shout. It's easy to use, it's short, and it makes you sound instantly more British. So, good shout basically means good idea. Number two, I can't be doing with something or someone. This one basically means I don't have the time, patience, or energy for that. Oh, I just can't be doing with all this drama. Or I just can't be doing with him today. He's really annoying me. Or the traffic is a nightmare. I just can't be doing with it today. So it's not angry. It's kind of just British efficiency mixed up with mild irritation. Number three is actually one I used earlier today. Fancy seeing you here. Fancy seeing you here is something that we use when we bump into somebody unexpectedly. It's a friendly way of saying, oh wow, I didn't expect that. What are the chances? Like literally today, I walked into a coffee shop and my friend was there. I hadn't seen him in ages and I was like, oh, fancy seeing you here. It was like an unexpected joy to bump into this person. You know, oh, fancy seeing you here. I thought you were abroad. If you're curious to know, I did then sit down with my friend and we, had coffee together. It's quite nice. Number four, having a laugh. Having a laugh, well, literally means you must be joking, but we often use it when something feels ridiculous, unbelievable, or simply unfair. So, for example, you're having a laugh, mate. £10 for a coffee? That's ridiculous. If I think that something is too expensive, if I'm doing a deal with somebody and I think a car is, maybe I'm buying a car and the car is worth maybe £500 in my head, and he says, £2,000. I said, mate, you're having a laugh, aren't you? It's not worth £2,000. You can also use it quite playfully in social situations. Maybe somebody says, yeah, mate, I can beat you easily at pool. And maybe I think I'm quite good at pool. And I say, mate, you're having a laugh. There's no way you can beat me. Notice as well the way we pronounce having. We quite commonly reduce it down to having rather than having. So it's not you're having a laugh. We say you're having a laugh. Number five is fair play. This is one I actually use quite a bit. And it can be used to mean that's fair enough, or literally to sort of mean that I accept your answer as being reasonable. It can be an easy way to show respect or admiration. Notice that I keep saying the word can. So, for example, if somebody says, "Oh, I can't come right now, I'll pop over later on," yeah, fair play. That means, okay, I respect your answer. It's reasonable. I don't disagree. This kind of idea. We also use fair play to mean good for you. She's been training every morning. Oh, fair play to her. In other words, good for her. It can be quite positive, but understated. But notice that I keep saying can. Basically, we sometimes use fair play, especially when it's delivered with quite a flat tone to mean, okay, I don't agree with you at all, but I'm not going to argue with you. Maybe because I think your argument is a bit stupid. So if somebody says to me, well, I don't like him, I'll go, yeah, all right, fair play. It's similar in that case to whatever. So a lot of expressions in English will depend on the tone. So this one, if it's quite upbeat, it could mean fair enough or good for you, but it could also mean you're a bit of an idiot. Yeah, fair play, whatever. Number 6, you never know. You never know is used when we're talking about possibilities. We use you never know to say it's hopeful, but not too optimistic. And we need to talk a little bit about culture. So it's kind of saying you never know what will happen. Now, if I go for an interview and somebody says, how did the interview go? Do you think you will get the job? I might reply, you never know. It's kind of saying, yeah, fingers crossed, hope so, but I don't want to be too optimistic. If I was too optimistic, then another person may think that I was being a little bit arrogant in that case, and I would want to avoid that. So we use it to play down our chances. Now, even if I thoroughly 100% believe that I have got the job, I still might say this. Why? Well, if I'm too optimistic about something, especially about my skills, especially about something that relates to a performance or skill, then I could sound a little bit arrogant, and that could sound a little bit rude in British culture. So I would just say, you never know, to play down my possibilities, to play it down a bit. So I might just say, you never know, to play it down a bit. But we might also use it with another person's possibilities to avoid giving them false hope or being too definite or too optimistic for them, which then may lead to disappointment. So if somebody says to me, my girlfriend left me, do you think she'll come back? You never know, mate. It's the quiet, polite British version of kind of fingers crossed, but let's not be too optimistic. Number 7 is bang on. Bang on can mean exactly or exactly right, something similar to spot on. So if somebody says, what time do you want to meet? I could say, I will meet you at bang on 6 o'clock. This means exactly 6 o'clock. We use bang on to talk about timing, but also accuracy or even an opinion. Her comment was bang on, which means exactly right, or what she said about him was bang on. Notice the pronunciation of bang on is firm, it's quite short, punchy, and quite confident. Yeah, I'll meet you at bang on 6 o'clock. Number 8, I'm easy. This is a bit of a dangerous one, actually, we need to talk about. In one way, it can mean, I don't really mind, I have no preference. So if somebody says curry or pizza, I might just say, I'm easy. It just means, I don't really care, you make the decision. I'm leaving the decision with you. But be careful, if you say it in the wrong context, it might just get a laugh. British humour loves double meanings, and I'm easy can also mean I'm sexually liberal and I don't have many standards. So if somebody says, yeah, I'm easy, a British person may say, yeah, I've heard. And remember, there is a free PDF that you can download to learn even more in the description below. But number 9 is I'm on it. I'm on it means I'm taking care of it, or I've got this covered. So for example, you could use this at work. Oh, could you send the email? Yeah, already done. I'm on it. It's confident, it's efficient, and it sounds great in professional settings as well. We also do use this in social situations. My wife called me to ask me to pick some stuff up from the supermarket, and I said, yeah, don't worry, I'm on it. It's kind of like saying, don't worry, the situation is under control. Number 10 is one of the most British phrases on this list. It's a bit much. It's a bit much, or that's a bit much. We often use it as a polite way to say something is too expensive, which is quite literal in that sense. £8 for a slice of cake? Phew, that's a bit much. But we also use that's a bit much to mean that something is too much, too exaggerated, or over the top. Have you seen what he's wearing? It's a bit much. In other words, it's a little bit over the top for the situation, and we can even use it if something somebody says is too intense. Did you hear what he said? Yeah, it was a bit much. So we don't often say something is outrageous, we just quietly say, it's a bit much. Very British understatement. Next up, we have I'm not fussed. Now, some people will use this in a similar way to I'm easy, but more often than not, people will use I'm not fussed to mean not really, or as a kind of an alternative to no. Do you want to go out tonight? Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really fussed. In other words, not really. Or do you like horror films? Yeah, I'm not fussed, to be honest. In other words, no. Now, as I say, some people will use it to mean I don't really mind. So if somebody says tea or coffee, I'm not fussed. It could be, yeah, tea's fine, coffee's fine, or nothing is fine in that sense. But this is relaxed and casual, but be careful with tone. If you say it too flatly, it might sound a bit dismissive. Mate, I am not fussed. That could sound a little bit rude. This is one of my personal favourites, and yes, I do use it. It's not the end of the world. We use this to reassure someone when they do something that's potentially wrong. If somebody spills coffee on the table, they say, oh no, I've spilled coffee on the table. I'll say, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. It's like saying, it's okay, calm down, keep calm, measured. We sometimes use it when somebody is really quite sad as well, like, oh, I've lost my job, I don't know what I'm going to do. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. We'll think of something. But obviously, we often add a little bit more reassurance when it's quite serious. If you just spill a drop of water on my floor, it really isn't the most serious thing that could happen. It's not the end of the world. That'll do totally depends on tone. It can mean that's enough, that's fine, or stop, depending totally on tone. So if somebody is pouring me a cup of tea and they add some milk, do you want any more milk? No, that'll do. In other words, that's fine. No more, we don't need any more. If maybe we're working on a project and we don't think we can take it any further, we might say, yeah, just, that'll do. That's enough. I've reached the maximum level I can achieve. That'll do. Sometimes in that sense, we would say, that'll have to do. In other words, that is the level it's going to reach. It is not going any further. But we also use it quite often with children when they're doing something naughty. So maybe they're making a lot of noise, they're creating a lot of chaos, and I say, hey, that'll do, stop. So that'll do is quite a versatile little expression that we use in different ways depending on our tone. And talking about children, this is something my son said to me the other day, and it made me realize how much I must use it. Give me a sec. Give me a sec basically means wait a moment. It's like kind of buying time. So sec is short for second. However, this expression doesn't mean a second. It's not literal. It's just buying time. Give me a sec could mean a couple of minutes, a few minutes, a short while. So if somebody asks me for something, I could say, oh yeah, give me a sec, I'll grab it for you. Alternatives to this could be something like hang on a sec, hang on a second, 1 sec, or even wait a minute or hang on a minute. Lots of different variations, but none of them talk about the literal time. Wait a minute or hang on a minute could be like an hour. And my son said it to me the other day. I said, mate, we're going out. Get your shoes on. Give me a second. I'm coming. And I was like, oh my goodness. He's learned that from me. That was my voice coming from him. I could hear myself in his delivery. All sorted means everything's under control. Have you finished the report? Yep, all sorted. In other words, the situation is in hand. We also use all sorted to mean I've arranged it or I've fixed it. The tickets are booked, they're all sorted. Can't go wrong means that's a safe or reliable choice. So fish and chips, yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Or you can't go wrong with fish and chips. We often use it with the preposition with. You can't go wrong with fish and chips. Yeah, you can't go wrong. It's reassuring, friendly, simple, and it's a British way of saying that's a good idea. And speaking of which, there is a free PDF. You can't go wrong with the free PDF. You can download it in the link below. But there you have it. 16 more real British expressions, British phrases that will help you sound natural, polite, and truly confident when you speak. If you want to go back and watch part 1, I will link it at the end of this video because together Those lessons will give you more than 30 everyday British expressions that real people actually use. Real people like me. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favourite. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Cheers.